720 WGN, Pete McMurray in the Allstate Showcase Studios. She's 80s pop royalty. Do you like hearing that, Debbie Gibson? No, you don't like it.
You know what?
You're
Anything that has royalty in it,
right.
I'll take.
You do not want to hear that.
Honestly, no, it's fine.
What are you going to be doing at the Hilton Rosemont near O'Hare this weekend? Are you just signing autographs?
I'm going to be tap dancing and serving hors d'oeuvres. Isn't that a visual at the same time? No. Yeah, basically, I think this is the coolest thing. I didn't really know about these types of shows until Hollywood Dave. He invited me to do one in L.A. this past year, and I'm like, I want to see what all this is about.
Everybody has a friend named Hollywood. I got a guy named Hollywood.
Everyone in radio has a friend named Hollywood.
Right, so you have Hollywood Dave.
I'm Hollywood Dave.
I love it.
So, I went, and it's like, I don't mind saying I'm probably one of the younger people there. Which is awesome. It makes me feel 15 again. No, but like,
who are you next to? I Dream
because
of Jeannie?
I mean, Barbara Eden. I just found out she's 82. But is
she really at the show?
She's going to be at the show, and she's 82 years old.
And still looks great.
Still rocking those pants in the midriff.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I don't know if that's true,
man.
but she should be. If she's not wearing a ponytail, I want my money back. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not paying to get in. But what I love is, like, I do a ton of theater. And so, like, I've always signed autographs at the stage door. But there's always, like, 50 people and 15 minutes to meet everybody.
Right.
And you're cold and you're resting your voice and you have another show and you're on the go. And people are going, please sign this and this and this and this. And so this is a chance where, like, everybody gets to breathe. Everybody gets in line. You get to spend time with the fans. They get to spend time with you. They can bring their whole autograph collection. They can buy pictures they've never seen before. They can get their Mega Shark movie signed or whatever. And there's like a chance that they can get a professional picture with you. There's like a photo op hour, and they get and then they get it developed, and they bring it back, and you sign it. And so it's a real fan fest. It's like a Comic-Con and all those types of things. And I wish I knew about it sooner. I think it's fantastic because it's just, I don't have to worry about singing, warming up my voice. It's just, I am there to pose, meet fans,
sign autographs,
Cher
have a good
said,
time.
yeah, and Cher, I heard Cher quoted once as saying, fans don't want to meet me, they want me to meet them. And I thought that was so astute.
It's a great point.
It really is.
Right.
A fan that's out there wants to know that they exist now. And they want a chance to tell you that anecdote that they've been dying to tell you, that, like, whatever it was, that song was their prom theme, or this song helped get me through this hard time, and it to know that they got to tell you that story means the world. And I never get tired of hearing it because those songs are like my babies.
Of course.
To know that all these years later, they've impacted people. Even the tritest songs. Somebody tweeted the other day, I'm in a bad mood. I put on your songs. My mood gets better. I go, you know what?
That's what it's all about right there, people.
Right. Is there any better reason to do what I do?
Does Debbie Gibson still have the crazy fans that, look for you at these things?
Yes, it's crazy. I mean, it's wild because I could walk down the street, of course, like in New York, or like totally anonymously blend in. I look like every third blonde girl you could throw a stick at. And then
she kind of looks like my wife, doesn't she? I mean, you do. You blonde hair,
I look like
the
somebody's
eyes.
sister, somebody's
right,
friend.
Of course.
But then, like, I'll get off airplanes sometimes, and there's fans waiting with stuff to sign. So they're out there, and if they dig, they can find out where you are and when you're coming in. And
do you like that?
Yeah, you know what? I never mind it. I just think if you're a public figure,
you got to be out there, and they're going to be looking for you.
People that are like, oh, I can't believe that. It's like, well, then you should have stayed in community theater.
Debbie Gibson in studio. You can send me text messages. We're getting a ton of text messages right now at 24/7 2815 area code. Did pop stars of the 80s have as much fun backstage as rock stars of the 80s? You read the Motley Crue book.
Oh, my God. No, what I've always said, being a female vocalist is different than being any other kind of vocalist because you're demanded of to hit those high, pure notes. So it's almost like you need the discipline of like a Broadway performer.
Right.
And then you go out there and you rock it and you have a great time on stage. But it's hard. I think probably that female voice is the hardest instrument to keep in shape over the course of, So I was like, I remember playing Madison Square Garden, and I barely knew it was Madison Square Garden because it was another dressing room and another vocal warm-up.
Well,
and
that's
I was
probably
always
a good
like
thing, so you
tunnel
weren't
vision.
nervous.
Well, I wasn't like caught up in the whole thing. But then I realized also I missed a lot of those moments. So it's like now I'll go play. I headline a lot of gay prides. In fact, I headlined the one here a few years back.
Okay.
And I love now taking that moment, taking the crowd in and going, I'm here, I'm present. This is not a drive-by. This is not one of 40 shows in a row. This is 2 that I'm doing this weekend, and I'm doing another 2 next weekend. And you can take it in. And So I'm enjoying that in my life now, really being present in my own life.
24720 is our text number, 773 area code. Listen to this. This is a great one. What would 43-year-old Debbie Gibson say to 16-year-old Debbie Gibson?
Just what I said. Take your time, breathe. It's not a race.
Take it in.
And also, you're not like, and again, I look at like a Taylor Swift and I see people scrutinizing her and I think the girl's standing and breathing. That's like enough, because when you have so much so young and everything's moving so fast, you're expected to be superhuman and you're not.
Right.
And so I would tell the 16-year-old me, you're not superhuman. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to complain about how you feel. It doesn't mean you're ungrateful for your career, because that's a big thing. People go, how are you? I'm great. I'm good. I'm great. I'm good. And you wear yourself out on the inside pretending that you feel good all the time. Nobody feels good every day.
Did you get burned out?
I did. I got really fatigued. I started having panic attacks. I started like having to do those like vitamin IV drips, all kinds of stuff to replete, because I was just moving so fast. I was playing 3 clubs a night, 4 nights a week when I was 16 years old to get my first single off the ground, then going to school the other 3 days. So I was just barely sleeping, and my adrenaline was always in overdrive. And you really kind of wear out now what I know about health, you wear out your neurotransmitters and your adrenals, and you get kind of just, really fatigued. You can get yourself in a hole. And I've learned that through diet and through supplements and through, I've got to keep up with all that stuff now.
So when you saw Britney freak out a few years ago, you're thinking, God, I've been there. I know what she's going through.
And everybody, like, I joke that I go through breakdowns too, but I just do them in the privacy of my own home. I have my own woo moments, but they're at my house.
We all do, don't we?
We all do.
Freak out.
Everybody does.
Yes.
And that public freak out is a cry for help.
Of course.
And, I just think that there is anxiety and it does build. I mean, and I've been in a heap on the floor going, I can't keep up with my life. And you feel like your own expectations of yourself get in the way. Like I've had to learn that sometimes like to me, what my worst show is still good. Mm-hmm. And I have to sometimes let good enough be good enough.
Right.
Because that type A personality thing that you grow up getting patted on the back for is not a good thing. The word perfectionist, awful word. What does that mean?
It's going to drive you crazy.
And the beauty of the voice is it's imperfect. It's not, if it sounds like, oh, how interesting is that? I want to hear someone on the verge of cracking. I want to hear someone crack. Go for the high note, crack. You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's what makes a live show great. And we're brainwashed into thinking we're supposed to be perfect.
Of course, of course. Did you save your money?
Well, you just jump right to the point.
Did you save your money? You made a lot of money.
I saved enough to be okay.
Okay.
But I never white knuckle. I don't have this save your money for a rainy day. I've always and continue to reinvest my money in my career. So like at a moment where I walked away from millions of dollars at Atlantic Records, you're kind of getting, I don't talk about this a lot. You're getting a scoop.
I love it. I love it. This is what I do to women, by the way.
When that moment in time came that the label wanted to change me, and it happens to a lot of artists, especially young girls, I said, I can't do it.
What did they want to do?
And it was wear the little black dress, wear the heels. Why? So I could look like every other girl. I was being me, and that's what people gravitated toward.
Right.
And then suddenly everyone wanted to orchestrate some transition into womanhood. And it's like, you can't do that. The public's smart and they see through it. So I left and I walked away from millions of dollars, and I continued to invest millions of dollars into doing independent albums that are all on iTunes, and they didn't sell gazillions of copies. One's called Deborah, one's called I'm like forgetting the names. Think with Your Heart I did with EMI, SBK. But like I continue to roll money into what I'm doing. I fund like camp programs for kids, music camps and things. And so I'm happy when money's coming in and it's flowing out. It's coming in, it's flowing out.
Well, you look like you're in a good place. You look very relaxed.
Again, I don't need the yacht.
No, you don't need the
yacht.
I was
never
but it would be
into
fun to
money
hang out.
for those reasons. I like it to have creative freedom.
But it would be fun to hang out at the yacht one time, just to see what's going on.
Maybe.
I want to find somebody with a boat.
I want to like get in.
Chicago.
How about George Clooney's Italian villa that everyone gets invited to, but me?
Clooney invites all his buddies there.
I know.
And
I
then
met
he starts
him once. Like I was shooting a guest spot on Step by Step. Remember that show with Suzanne Summers? And he was shooting ER, and he was like shooting hoops. And I had a brief hello encounter, and he said, "I met you years ago at my Aunt Rosemary's benefit." And I'm like, George Clooney, Rosemary Clooney. Oh my God, I get the connection now.
I get it now, and I paid no attention to you then.
Exactly. It's true. It's really funny. But I always loved Rosemary Clooney. Loved her.
When did you go from Debbie to Deborah back to Debbie?
I was actually Deborah.
Okay.
I was like in the second grade, and teachers would go Debbie, and I'd go, it's Deborah, it's Deborah, it's Deborah. Tried to get people to call me Deborah. The record company said we want it to be Debbie, and I conceded. And every time I said, hi, I'm Debbie to people, it didn't feel like my name.
Right.
So the minute I went into theater more than pop, I'm like, I want to use my real name that I was born with that just feels more me.
Okay.
It feels like a more three-dimensional name. It was never meant to be, I am grown up and serious now, call me Deborah. So, but when I realized people were perceiving it that way, I finally a few years ago threw up my hands and went, I give up. I built this brand name of Debbie. I'm going to keep it.
Right, of course.
And I embrace it now. As
Okay,
a
good.
woman, I enjoy it. I think it's a fun name. I have like nothing to prove anymore. I don't care.
What do you think of Lady Gaga?
I think she's a genius. I think her pipes are, I mean, did you see that she did like a live concert video and she was just singing a cappella with her backup singers in the dressing room? Her voice, I mean, it's an instrument.
It all goes back to the voice.
It's an instrument.
Right.
So I love that, you know, I always say, look, Madonna was a pioneer woman. She started it all for everybody as far as I'm concerned. But what I love about Gaga is, A, she's got that voice. So she can do the antics and back it with something, with
Right.
the chops. But she dares to not always be glamorous. Like she does the absurd and the
Yes.
masculine, and the Madonna always looked sexy.
Right.
But Gaga will really risk the
She'll
ridiculous.
just throw it out there, won't
I
she?
just love that.
Really?
And you never see fear in her eyes. I mean, she just rocks whatever she's doing. She stands behind it. I think that's really brilliant. I do. I think she's amazing.
708 area code. What do you want to be remembered for? Debbie Gibson.
What do I want to be remembered for?
That's a deep question right there.
Oh, being authentic.
Okay.
Every minute I can be authentic. You know, that's what I'm out to do.
Who's the last celebrity you hung out with? 773.
Well, let's see.
Who are you hanging out with?
You know, I don't know if this was the last one, but this is a fun story. My boyfriend and I were going to a wedding in Ireland, and we got stranded overnight at the Sofitel at Heathrow, and we hung out with the Fray.
Of course.
Which was super
That
fun.
is such a Hollywood statement right there. My boyfriend and I were going to Ireland for a wedding.
Oh, but it wasn't like what you.
We
but
ran
see,
into the
see,
Fray.
here's what I'm talking about with even the money thing. That we flew coach on that trip. You know
All right.
why? Because we were together, we were having fun, and we were like, is 4 extra inches on the seat and a slightly warmer meal worth $6,000?
Yes.
Or do we want to spend $6,000 on something better at a later date?
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't need to, you know, so, but the Fray thing was cool. Got stranded, you know, the Sofitel, it's a hip hotel, and,
Right.
and we hung out with them. Super nice guys.
Cool dudes. All right.
Awesome.
And Debbie Gibson, what's this shark movie you're doing? What is that?
Well, I did Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus and was nominated for many.
I love it.
I was
That's
overlooked grossly at the Oscars
Uh-huh.
for that performance as Dr. Emma McNeil, scientist.
Oh.
I drove a submarine.
Really?
I remember once the director was like, Deb, it's not a video game. It's not a joystick. You've got to like remember there's a little more tension on the, you know, it was very funny. But I reprised my role as Dr. Emma McNeil in the third installment of Mega Shark called Razor Finn.
Oh, that's big.
With Elizabeth Rome. I do a couple of scenes. Awesome fun. When the shark calls, I'm there.
That's big. That's big. Well,
That sounds like the trailer. That's big.
she'll be at the Hilton Rosemont near O'Hare all weekend long at the Hollywood Chicago Show. For more information, hollywoodshow.com. Now, you're also doing Sing Your Face Off.
Yes,
You're
I
a
did
judge.
show. Yeah, I did a show for ABC, and Daryl Hammond and I are called experts.
How does Daryl Hammond from Saturday Night Live, who does an unbelievable President Clinton, how does he end up as a judge on a singing show?
Well, because it's about impersonation. So it's like you've got Lisa Rinna as Cyndi Lauper. You've
Okay.
got, you know, John Lovitz as Pavarotti. Like,
Okay.
and they're groomed by choreographers, Roger Love, an amazing vocal coach who I've now started studying with. They have like an A-list band. Like the lighting director from the Oscars was our lighting director. I mean, it's a full-blown production. It's incredible. And each week these contestants do these celebrity impersonations. So he is a master at that. I mean, it was a great blend because I can comment on the vocal technique, the singing, the choreography, you know, the body language, and he can really zero in on that tone. If they really nailed the tone and embodied the person, the icon they were impersonating, he was a blast to work with. What a sweet,
I
sweet
love Daryl
man.
Hammond. We had him on the show after he
You know,
wrote
he's
the
a
book.
sweet
and,
man.
You know, I'm glad he got clean.
I know.
Man.
And both of us were looking at each
A
other.
tortured soul.
Yes.
That guy.
Well, I think most artists are,
Yeah.
and comedians But you know what I love about him? So many comedians are tortured and then they're bitter and they're out to kind of get you.
Mm-hmm.
He's sweet. He's
Yeah,
a
he
sweet
is.
person.
Nice
You
guy.
know, so I really, that was a lovely gift of my summer that I got to do that show, and it's going to air sometime. Hopefully this fall it'll replace something that's tanking on ABC.
So
But
it's
so
done.
far everything's really good on ABC. Yes, it's all done and in the can, as they say in the biz, as you know.
Well, if you go to Facebook, you go to Pete McMurray Show. That's my page for the show. And we threw it out there. Who would like to sing to Debbie Gibson? Who would like to sing your face off? So we found a guy and a girl.
Oh my God.
And we're going to take a break, and we're going to bring them in studio, and we're going to have them sing one of your songs.
Oh my God. Probably better than me.
And then
I'm sure.
you're going to judge them on the air.
That's phenomenal.
are
I
you
can't
ready for
wait.
that?
I'm so ready. What a surprise.
Debbie Gibson, we're going to have two listeners sing their
Awesome.
face off. It's 720 WGN.
Fantastic.